Today we're going to make focaccia. You're going to need 500 grams of flour, strong white flour, 80 ml of olive oil, 3 grams of dried yeast or 6 grams of fresh yeast. I would have told you differently before, but actually you should be using half the quantity of dried yeast as opposed to fresh yeast. And 10 grams of salt. You will also need for your toppings rosemary and something like rock salt or sea salt. There are lots of other toppings that you can use, but we'll come on to discuss that. And of course, 400 ml of warm water. The method is very similar to the method that you used before. So you've got your flour in your bowl, add the salt to the flour, just stir it around with your hand, make a little hole in the middle to add your water with your yeast. And then thoroughly mix together. Hopefully you've got one of these now. If not, use your spatula and stir around as we did before. Okay. So combine the flour and water in your bowl. And the more you can combine it, the better. And then tip out onto your work surface. Bring the flour together, the dough, and again you're going to want to put your hands underneath it and turn it over. So you're folding it. And you only need to do this a few times to activate the process. Hands under, fold over. Ready? Pour 40 ml of the olive oil into the bottom of your bowl. And then transfer your dough on top. And you want to fold, pulling up the dough, get the dough nice and covered in the olive oil. Then you're going to need to leave it to rest for 30 minutes. And after that, you're going to need to fold it 3 more times. So 1 more fold than on the previous spread that we made. So cover your dough and leave. The dough for the first 30 minutes, it should look something like that. And then you want to fold it again by pulling up each of your corners, turning over like that. Handle your dough with love and care, and then put your hands under it and turn it over. And then we're going to need to leave it, or we're going to need to fold it for another 3 occasions. So just to confirm, you will have folded your dough for 4 times. I am about to fold for the last time. You can see how puffed up and full of air your dough should be looking. So last fold. So this is number 4. Lift your dough up, stretch it so we're getting all that lovely air incorporated into it. Hands under, turn over, and you leave for one last half an hour. After you've rested the dough for the last 30 minutes, pop it into the fridge for 10 minutes, which just helps the dough firm up slightly. Should be looking beautifully puffy and airy like that. You then need a tray like this one I've got here, which is about 30 centimetres by 20 centimetres. Line it with some baking paper and with your bread scraper or with another with a spatula or whatever you have to hand, very gently. Remember, handle your dough gently to retain the lovely air that you've got inside it, and scrape it into your baking tray. Now, using your fingers, you're going to want to very gently spread it out into the corners of your tray. And then your remaining 40 mils of olive oil, pour it onto the top of your focaccia. Okay, now the lovely dimples that you see on the top of focaccia, you're going to make with your fingers. This is quite nice, by sticking them in like this. So you've got a lovely dimpled surface. Now for your toppings. Our favourite is rosemary and some crunchy sea salt. This is a sort of rock salt, which is usually the best thing. Or you can put on the top olives or tomatoes or even some sliced red onion. Again, experiment and see what you can come up with. So I'm just going to put my rosemary in, just stick it in wherever you like. Lovely. And then scatter with your rock salt or your nice crunchy salt onto the top. Now you're going to need to leave this for one more half an hour, 30 minutes. You don't need to cover it because the oil will keep it moist. So just leave it out on the side for 30 minutes. Heat your oven up to a nice high temperature of about 220, 230, and it'll be ready to cook in half an hour. So after you've cooked your focaccia in your nice hot oven, which spray with water before you put it in to bake, should take 20 to 25 minutes, but should look something like this, nice and golden brown, sound fairly hollow, and if you want to, you can drizzle some extra olive oil on the top. Beautifully soft, light and delicious. Enjoy.